What if I told you that counting to 5 changed my entire life? Sounds crazy, right? But it's true. I used to be the master of overthinking. I had big ideas, big goals, but zero action. Until one day, I discovered something so simple, so stupidly easy, that it actually worked. It's called the 5-second rule. And once I started using it, everything began to shift. I used to watch opportunities pass me by because I couldn't get myself to move. But one tiny mental trick, counting backwards from 5, helped me break that cycle. In this video, I'm going to show you how the 5-second rule became the simple habit that changed my life forever, and how it can change yours too. Let me be real with you. For a long time, I lived in my head more than I lived in the real world. I'd wake up already feeling behind. I'd tell myself, today I'll get everything done. But then I'd scroll on my phone for 45 minutes before even getting out of bed. Every task felt overwhelming. Every decision felt like a debate. I'd overthink sending an email, overthink speaking up in meetings, even overthink going to the gym. And in the end, I'd do nothing. I wasn't lazy. I wanted to change. I had goals, dreams, and all the motivational quotes saved on my phone, but none of it helped when it was time to act. I was stuck in this endless loop of hesitation, self-doubt, and procrastination. And honestly, it started to affect my confidence. I felt like I was falling behind while everyone else was moving forward. The worst part, I knew what I should be doing. I just couldn't make myself do it. And that constant failure to act made me feel even worse. I kept waiting for motivation, for the perfect moment, for a magical spark that would suddenly make me disciplined and fearless. But that moment never came. That's when I knew if I didn't find a way to break this cycle, nothing in my life was going to change. One night, while aimlessly scrolling through YouTube, avoiding yet another thing I said I'd do, I stumbled across a video by someone named Mel Robbins. I almost skipped it, but the title said something like, "This rule will change your life." I clicked. She talked about how your brain will talk you out of anything hard or uncomfortable in 5 seconds. But if you act before your mind interferes, just move, speak, stand, start, you can take control. She called it the 5-second rule. If you have an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill it. That line hit me. She explained how simply counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 interrupts your autopilot thinking. It shifts your brain from hesitation to action. It sounded too simple to work, but I figured, why not? I had nothing to lose. The next morning, I tried it, and that was the first small win in a long time. The first time I used the 5-second rule, I sent a message I'd been avoiding for weeks. It wasn't just any message, it was something personal, something I'd written, rewritten, and deleted over and over. I was scared of how the other person might react. What if they didn't respond? What if I looked desperate? What if I said the wrong thing? So I did what I always did, overthought it, then ignored it. But then I remembered the 5-second rule. One night, I was staring at the message again, hovering over the send button with my heart racing. And suddenly, I just whispered to myself, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I tapped send. For a second, I panicked, my brain screamed, "What did you just do?" But right after that, came something unexpected. Relief. Not because I knew how the other person would respond, but because I had finally done something I was scared of. I had acted. I stopped letting fear drive my decisions. That one message didn't fix everything, but it was a spark. It showed me what was possible when I didn't let hesitation win. And once I realized that, I started using the rule for more, speaking up in meetings, starting projects, asking for help. One 5-second decision led to a completely new direction in my life. Using the 5-second rule didn't change my life overnight, but using it every day, that changed everything. At first, it was just about doing the things I was avoiding, replying to emails, making that phone call, showing up at the gym, even when I didn't feel like it. But soon, I noticed something deeper happening. I was starting to trust myself again. I stopped waiting to feel ready. I stopped giving fear and doubt so much airtime. Instead, I took action even when I was scared, even when I was unsure, even when it felt uncomfortable. One of the biggest shifts was in my productivity. Tasks that used to sit on my to-do list for days, sometimes weeks, were suddenly getting done within minutes. I started applying the rule to everything: writing, planning, reaching out to people, even getting off social media when I found myself mindlessly scrolling. The more I acted, the more my confidence grew. Not because I had all the answers, but because I was showing up. I was proving to myself over and over again that I could handle discomfort, make decisions, and move forward. Even my fear of failure began to fade. Because once you realize you can act before your fear takes over, you stop letting it define your limits. The 5-second rule gave me momentum, and momentum, even in small doses, is powerful. It taught me that success doesn't come from waiting, it comes from starting. From doing the uncomfortable thing again and again until it becomes who you are. So, how can something as simple as counting backwards from 5 actually change your life? The power of the 5-second rule lies in how your brain works. When you count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're doing more than just stalling. You're interrupting in the habit loop, of overthinking. Most of us don't struggle, but, because we don't know what to do, we struggle because we hesitate. That tiny pause is all your brain needs, to flood you with doubt, fear, or excuses. By counting down and taking immediate action, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and goal setting. It's like flipping a switch from autopilot to intentional action. Here's an example. You want to speak up in a meeting, but your brain says, what if I sound stupid? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you speak. Now you've taken control before fear had a chance to talk you out of it. Or maybe you're on the couch, dreading the gym, you count down, stand up, and move. That single motion builds courage. Not because you felt motivated, but because you chose action despite resistance. The more you use it, the more you rewire your brain to respond with movement instead of fear. Over time, this builds real confidence, and discipline, not through hype or motivation, but through simple, consistent action, and that's why it works. So, how can you start using the 5-second rule in your own life? It's simple, but powerful. The next time you feel the instinct to do something that will move your life forward, and you feel yourself hesitate, start counting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. That's it. You don't need motivation. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to interrupt your autopilot and take control in that tiny window before fear or doubt kicks in. Here are a few unique ways to use it. Overthinking a text, instead of analyzing it to death, count down and send it. Want to start journaling or meditating? Count down and open the app each on our notebook, even for just 2 minutes. Avoiding a difficult conversation? Use the rule to break the silence and begin. The first sentence is always the hardest. Trying to quit a bad habit when the urge hits to scroll, smoke, or snack, count down and shift your focus. Move to a new room, go for a quick walk, or take a deep breath. Feel awkward in a social setting, use it to walk over and introduce yourself or ask a question. That's how connection starts. The goal isn't to be fearless. It's to act before fear stops you. So here is my challenge to you. Starting today, just try it. The next time you feel yourself hesitate to speak up, to start, to get up, to hit send, don't think. Just count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. Do that for 1 week. You'll be amazed how quickly those tiny moments of action start to build real momentum in your life. And I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're going to use the 5-second rule for this week? Drop it in the comments. I read everyone. If this video helped you or made you think differently about hesitation, hit that like button. And if you want more content on building habits, confidence, and mental strength, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.